Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Oot Cast with myself, Rayze, and of course my noble and ever eternal companion, Techno.
Hello, everybody.
We are here to do 6168, as we take another step forward into the duality arc that is Amber and Gold. So yeah, let's crack on. This one I do feel is mostly a setup chapter, which isn't really not an insult. It's just that it's very much like giving us the last bits of information and background so that we can really get into the meat of things next time.
Yeah, I feel like we won't rush through this or anything like that, but there's not a ton to say compared to some of the other ones, so I don't expect this to be super long. But we immediately get introduced to the fucking mystery ass character.
We get Rio's background. We get Rio's some of Rio's background. And the description of their world.
Yeah,
so
we get introduced
made
to
very clear.
Cyberpunk ass dystopian world.
Yes, brought up in a den of crime and just a very unpleasant world.
And interesting.
I'm talking about the world dying even beforehand. Yeah, I mean that's where I draw the comparison to Cyberpunk. It's where society is starting to degrade and fall apart under the weight of corruption.
Yeah, I mean it make very clear before the goddesses even show up to fight that this is happening, right?
Yeah, this
it's
is
also very interesting that we have Jamie here instead of CJ. Obviously, with Jamie taking the focal point, but now Jamie's getting the CJ treatment of showing up to places randomly and experiencing things.
And we're reading between the lines of Rio's monologue here. They were clearly a prostitute, and Takeri, as we'll soon show.
Yeah, this guy. I mean, this is before it all happens, but you notice this guy's attire before. Which, by the way, if you look in the bottom right, we're gonna see a closer picture of it. But
you can middle click to make the thing go.
Yeah, you can see he has
the double ring.
The double ring that Rio also has, which we're gonna see, as well as getting a little bit ahead of ourselves.
But it's not a ring on two separate hands.
No,
it's not a separate ring.
It's a double ring,
which is interesting and different.
Yeah, and this is
not. The only equivalent we've seen is Hebe rings, which we know why that is, and obviously Tsukiko's ring, which is black and white, which we don't have a full understanding of yet. But
we talked about this a little bit in the preamble of us just trying to gather our bearings for this chapter. So they share a ring that is a double-banded ring, both this guy and Rio. And there's a really good chance this guy might be a CJ shard, which is, in my opinion, we've seen bad CJ shards before, but this guy's I'm a little shocked.
Actual scum of the earth.
This guy's a pimp. This guy's actually
who dresses up what he does in religious overtones. Like his whole speech, the words he speaks in this are almost all. We all live in a world of sin, which justifies why I'm such an asshole type stuff.
And yeah, I mean, man, that's so not.
And I will just drop it now.
So not a commentary on anything.
No. Of course.
Also, look at Rio's eyes. This is going to be a big thing we'll talk about because
one amber, one gold.
Yeah, this is a unique situation, at least from all the rules that we've been told about how you're able to get. Connections and stuff. This is, do we want to talk about this? Is probably a Carpo and a Uxo shard.
Yeah,
mixed
I mean,
together.
our best theory is that Rio's parents were one Carpo shard, one Uxo shard, which is why Rio has both colors.
And
that's our best guess. That's not we don't know that for a fact.
Yeah,
that's just our best guess.
Let's be clear.
Knowing the rules as we know them for how shards manifest and with their bloodlines and everything, and it being tied to families.
Yeah, if Rio didn't have a ring and just had the colors associated, it would be a completely different story. But no. There's two rings here, which just implies, based on the logic of everything else we know in the series, this is a CJ shard, and this is the, the
goddess shard.
Yeah,
the goddess
two
shard.
Two goddess shards. That's
pressed into one individual. Yes.
Actually, and I think his Does his clothing change here? Or I thought he was wearing shorts.
No.
I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Underneath the robe, he is.
Oh, okay. Anyway.
But yeah, this is Takeru immediately laying out how just fucked up he is.
This
like,
guy's...
he's
also,
not a good
he's
dude.
got the trademark beady evil eyes. We see
he's
this
got the
in
trademark
a
eyes
screenshot, but
we'll see in a transition that heavily implies a Mara influence, not necessarily directly, but at least in terms of like evil, just being someone lost in despair and hatred.
Yeah,
forgive your twisted body. Yeah.
Something that Rayze pointed out to me when we were talking is, if you'll notice, his color is just a mix of the two, right?
Yes, his color for his name is golden. And notably the same as Jamie's.
Well, it's almost
very close.
Jamie's is a little bit different, but
is a little dark.
But because of what Jamie's supposed to, be in her half compared to Mizzy, right?
Yeah, well, like I said, it's important to note that Jamie is she herself is a gold and amber combo,
right?
So,
but then Rio's is
fluctuating between the two, which is interesting.
And
yeah, so it's interesting that they both sensed
that's
something was going to happen, which that obviously is there. That heavily implies a direct connection to the goddesses or to something or to something bigger.
I really want to deny the fact this guy might be a CJ Shard, but the fact that he also the fact that he also sensed it and the ring, like, I don't see another way that this guy isn't. Which is crazy, because we talked a little bit about it in the preamble and stuff, but I was like Niall and Alan are bad, but like I was like, man,
Niall had redeeming qualities in the past.
Yes,
his fall was one of pride and ignorance. Yeah, he's one of his. Whereas Takeru's is, it seems like he's someone who just kind of, he never really had a shot at being anything other than an asshole. Yeah, like, because he just embraced the worst aspects of his society and became a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Rio might be a hermaphrodite biologically, which would make sense of the twisted body comment from Takeru. Which is a couple of lines before this. Takeru says, this is why you were cursed with this twisted body. If they are hermaphrodite and they have both female and male presenting,
that would make sense. Hold on, I was about to be like, we'll just see what Anon wants to reference at all, because Anon will just do his stuff.
But no,
with the duality, no. You're right with like the duality of like we have presumably two goddess shard fragments. Like that would also
in one,
that would also kind of make sense.
At least possibly.
Wait, that actually. If the whole tone of this entire arc is duality, that's really interesting. I wonder if that's what Anon's going for. Huh.
Yeah. Especially with a duality of male and female like this.
Huh. You know what? I happen to actually think that makes a lot of sense. I really didn't think about that.
But yes, here we get to see a glimpse of the conflict, at least in conceptual terms. So the world came to an end, the goddesses emerged in some shape or form. Mm-hmm. And their conflict laid waste to the planet, except where Rio has managed to intercede.
Which is so funny to me, because you'd think that, like, why would the goddesses listen, especially to, like, if that's presumably I'm just gonna go with the fact that Rio's probably is both shards of the goddesses.
Yeah, well, so we talked about this a bit, and my theory is that Rio. It's kind of like how it's kind of how Leia works with Carpo's power, as established in Leia's arc, where the goddesses can only act through their shards.
Mm-hmm.
So whether Rio knows it or not, there is some degree of them like needing her to act as the conduit for them to act on the world to some degree, even if they've broken through it. Maybe.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that, because that was what I was gonna ask, like. So do we think, like, obviously they're fighting each other here, right? But Rio mentions later that like appealing to one of them did like it just continued the destruction, right? But
Yeah,
bringing them both into harmony, because that's kind of like the whole theme of like Jamie's trying to do that with their side of stuff.
equal. Yeah, treating them as equals.
Do we think that it's because it's specifically Carpo fighting Uxo, and Uxo's trying to not, like, obviously Uxo, we saw with Hector and stuff like that, that Uxo has the capability to destroy countless worlds, even if she doesn't intend to, right? But
Yeah.
I mean, I can't imagine if this CJ shard is still alive in this world, why that would happen with Uxo.
Well,
at least.
this ties in again something we discussed in our pre-match warm-up.
Man, we really should have recorded that.
We should have.
Yeah, that's my bad.
One of my theories, I'm not going to put it down as the theory because this is a very tentative. The theory I have, or one of them, is that this world or this conflict, this whole scenario, possibly even Takeru and Rio's entire existence in the nature of it, may be a result of where the constellation stands currently, and as a manifestation of Carpo and Orxo being in conflict, now that there is once again a center to this constellation in the form of Tsukiko / Jamie, and of course Elenath / Jacob, whether he kind of pops to it or not.
Yeah, so this is happening like.
So, because remember that time is not linear in Oot when once you're crossing through the other side to visit other worlds. So quite possibly, and we know that retroactive causality is a thing, so quite possibly the events in our world with CJ and the gang trying to bring the goddesses into balance and harmony this is a consequence of that, where like the ripple of it crosses the other side. And this is one of the consequences of that ripple, a manifestation of the conflict between Orxo and Carpo, now that Elenath is, for all intents and purposes, in their eyes, back on the scene.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're all, like, the grudges that have built up between them, the incompatibility that's built up between them over the eons, and that probably even existed beforehand that Elenath helped to smooth over, is now manifesting open.
It's so. I mean, this isn't happening everywhere. This is just. we don't know that, but we know it's not happening. Well, we know it's not happening on our world, and I assume that it's not.
But that makes sense because they can't act at all.
Yeah.
On our world without, as things currently stand. Not.
It would be really bad if this was happening everywhere at once. God, that would be awful.
Yes. Yeah.
But then I don't know. This feels like a special set of circumstances, especially with if this was just like. We didn't get the intro that we just saw, and Rio and the other guy, I can't remember his name, wasn't here. Yeah. Then I would be like, man, this is happening everywhere. But no, this is just because of the shard. Like if you have a shard that is both of them come together, where else would the clash happen? I suppose, right? If you want to think about it that way, it's like they're the strongest because they're already connected here.
Exactly.
Very interesting.
Well, goddesses have no interest in worlds where shards aren't present, so...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she says Rio's not their herald. She just screamed at them to stop, and they did so. All the hurt rarities, I just wanted it all to stop, and to my surprise, it did.
Also, this guy's doing the CJ pose. I don't know. We might be fucked. I'm not gonna lie. This is definitely the CJ pose for sure. And then he decided, I'm gonna...
You get the Nile style.
Yeah. The black. Yeah, this is what I was talking about. The dark...
The Mara eyes, but not pink. Gold. Yeah. Gold and amber. And that, to me, indicates he's maybe not like... That doesn't mean that he is of the Mara or controlled by them, which is what I think a lot of people would jump to. I think that that's more a reflection that he's someone who is also steeped in madness. He's like aligned emotionally with the Mara, but he's not like Mara directly.
I mean, we don't. I have no doubt that we're gonna get a whole fucking explanation, either in the Kion arc or in the arc after that about the Mara and how they function and stuff. But I mean, with how they love to reiterate that they're everywhere and all this sort of stuff, like goddess is fighting, causing, suffering and chaos. Like, it really just seems like And
Well, that's the thing. Just because, like,
in the cyber. I mean, okay, let's think about it this way: in a cyberpunk setting, like dystopian, like everything is awful and everybody is having a bad time all around. Where else would the Mara love to be, right?
Well, bear in mind that you don't need to have the Mara be present as a spiritual entity for the Mara to be quotation marks present, because it's what they
sure.
Because we're talking about conceptual values here, and Takeru is clearly not a good dude. He's a nihilistic asshole.
Yeah, like I don't think this guy
uses and manipulates everyone around.
Like Nile did or something. Yeah, I know. I agree with you.
Yeah, I mean it's more along the lines of like how I think Hayato is aligned to the Mara in terms of like he is in agreement with their view of the world, and then even if he acts like in opposition to them, he's at the same time accepting that they are right about how the world is.
Fucking Hayato. what a weak No, I'm just kidding.
But yeah, so we learn here that like there's only a small piece of the world left, which is very classic anime, and Ryo's like the high priest. She's made a high priestess. Takeru goes all feudal Japan on them, and uses his control over Ryo to
basically reverts everything.
Make himself the god. He make himself basically a god, at least in terms of like how he views himself. Old school daimyo is how Ryo describes him.
Of course, it would.
Ryo does a lot of like self-recriminating speech. Like if you read between the lines of yes, I was too valuable to beat anymore, which shows how abusive the relationship was. Also, there are definitely parallels here between Ryo and Ayu's life and background.
Yeah, kind of. It's super hard to, especially with like the whole. I mean, with the return.
As long as I begged for clemency, I was too valuable.
With the return to like tradition, especially with the outfit and everything, it's very similar.
If you can go back if you talk about it where it's directly mentioned, go back a bit. Come on, one more. He would have preferred the apocalypse continue to the shame my body would have brought him had it come to light. Also establishing that Takeru vilifies them just for being who they are. This isn't just like some kind of like weird spiritual thing. No, Takeru's just a nasty fucking piece of shit who just will home in on any weakness of anyone around him to get what he wants. He's a thug. He's an elevated thug, in all honesty, as he very much demonstrates right here.
Which, again, if we're, talking about how bad CJ shards are, like, obviously Nile killed, like, an entire planet. Like, obviously he's way worse. But, like, I'm like,
in terms of scale, yeah.
Like, at least, like, Alan was an asshole and didn't have to act the way that he was doing towards,
and Nile, as fucked up as he was, Nile had a code. Like, he had a set of values as messed up as they were. And as messed up as he was, Takeru doesn't have any of that. He is literally a gangster that by luck of birth and situation became the ruler of what was left of a dead world.
Yeah, I'm really wondering if we're going to be eating our words whenever we find out he's like not a CJ.
Oh, I'm sure Anon has some kind of tragic twist for us to deal with when it comes to it. He loves to do that shit.
Well, I know, but it's like, I mean, okay. Well, at the same time, it's like, do we? Okay. It's the same Alan conversation. It's like, okay, so we shit on Alan for being like an asshole, rightfully so. Even though we know how fucked up his backstory was, we're still like, you don't have to be an asshole. The key difference there is that we give Alan grief because he is someone who is doing the right things, but for the wrong reasons and in the wrong ways. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, self-hatred.
Whereas Takeru,
for the sake of the whole world.
Takeru is very simple by comparison. Takeru is doing what is best for Takeru, and that is it. He doesn't give a shit. Like, he just cares about the things that let him do what he wants. Like, he's the most blatantly evil character I think that we've seen. Although at least here he does kind of kill the obvious.
I would say, okay, I'll concede with like an asterisk of like socially. Because, like,
yes.
on a grander scale, like, we need to think about,
like... scale does have to matter, for sure. But I think that pettiness, pettiness is kind of makes it easier for you to look down on Takeru.
Well, because, like, socially, he's probably the worst. It's really easy to overlook people like Grandpa and Niall whenever we think about like bad human people doing
because they're so
bad
fucking
human things.
charismatic.
Well,
Yes.
well, that and the fact that it's like not trying to like make a statement or anything, but it's really easy to be like, the deaths of a whole planet in media versus like up
That's
close
the whole
and personal
You're
beating the
talking
shit
about
out of
you're talking about
some
how the death of
prostitute.
the death of 3 men is a tragedy, the death of 1 million is a statistic.
Right. Exactly.
Like, beyond a certain point, you can't conceptualize the personal loss of a huge number of people. So you can't hate the person responsible in the same way that you would someone you see actively in your face doing something awful on an individual level.
Yeah, I mean, literally began the entire chapter with...
Which is why Alan gets more hate than Hayato or Niall does. Because we see Alan being awful and saying terrible things to Myrna.
I'm telling you right now, Grandpa gets the benefit of his stuff being in earlier chapters because everybody remembers what the fuck he did to those maids. Like, yeah, I'm like, come on, you know what I mean? And everybody's like, oh, but we hate Alan, but Grandpa's just the villain. I'm like, God, you guys are so fucking stupid.
Only the friendliest, warmest takes here, guys.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I think a lot of people have moved on. I think,
but Takara just showing that he's very much in this for him. So like he executes the guy who tried to bribe him with the daughter, which or maybe he's not all. No, he still takes the daughter.
No.
And yeah, Rio clearly showing how close on the edge Rio is to just giving up. But again, the parallels here to Leia and Leia's arc are not to be ignored at last, where Leia herself had a very similar mentality of, why am I even trying? I should just give up.
And staring at the moon, going, whether there could be
staring at the moon,
something
better.
Yep.
Or this is exactly what we said. Again, more Leia showing through there. Which just increases the Leia/Ayu connections. And just look at her design. Wow. That's pretty Ayu design there.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Seriously. Like, I know that it comes with the return to tradition, was what I said earlier, with him wanting to make everything
for sure.
look like
Aesthetically,
Japan and stuff, but like...
Which is a style that Ayu herself kind of had.
Yeah. Also, of course, we can't forget the fact that she's probably a Carpo shard, so it would make sense.
At least partially, yeah.
And then we can't forget about the army of the sea of half souls probably outside the
all the people of that
gates.
planet who've already been just having this just because the other side is poured through. And but notice the colors.
Yeah, notice the colors. Very interesting. It's only
Hebe colors.
Green and blue.
Yeah, Hebe colors.
There's no void or anything. Interesting. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, we don't know. It could be a number of things. And we bit back to our perspective post trip, post near threesome, sort of threesome, kind of threesome. Technically, anytime Jacob has sex from now on, it will be a threesome because of his connection to Jamie.
Like I said, chapter 100, everybody turns into Jamie, and then CJ fucks Jamie, and therefore everybody gets fucked.
And therefore everybody at once.
Yep.
Yeah, chapter 100. Okay, yeah. Tell you later. It's noon, which is a low-key hint to what we're about to learn about them apparently being fucking for like 12 hours. But yes, here we see Ashley with Lindsay and don't mind the giant disintegrator cannon looking things. Everything is completely under control.
Wonder how much
those aren't cameras. And Batoy's like, no, I'm just like, doing a DNA test and stuff. I have no idea whatever Ashley is doing. And yes, this is Ashley as she is now. Like, it's important. I'm gonna do the stuff for Ashley early here, okay?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Just to get it out of the way, because she kind of acts very consistently in line with what I'm about to say for the rest of this chapter, and I think she will for the rest of the game to a great or lesser extent. Ashley is very clearly still Ashley with her very Ashley attitude, which is great, but she's got a depth of knowledge and intuitive knowledge and insight now, which is very clearly coming from her Hebe Prime side. And that confidence, that insight is going to be very much present all the way through. And in many ways makes her probably the most dangerous person in the gang. Because, like, as we're about to see all through this chapter, she kind of just does whatever she wants.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, it's almost always for the good, or at least not harmful. But it's gonna. This is who she is now. Like, this is Ashley fully realized. I wouldn't say she's completely resolved all her character arcs, but the major character development for her is kind of done-ish at this point. Like, she doesn't really. She is who she's going to be for the rest of the story. So hold on to yourselves. We'll talk a bit more about what she's doing here. Obviously, her intent here is very clearly to help Lindsay.
So, obviously, this is the same room where they've done a bunch of the spiritual stuff, and they've set up this room as kind of like I don't know.
The supercomputer is here.
Yeah,
it's like it's like a spiritual containment chamber.
Right. So obviously, I mean, not trying to go into the logistics of the world because it's not that important, but the fact this is another one of those things I'm going to call out because this has always been a thing in Oot where Anon has very intentionally made it so powers don't affect the real world that much. Only very rarely do they do. And through Misaki and Ashley helping each other
and
out.
Ash Prime's technology from her world, which is where these things are taken from.
But it's the manifestation of that. Like, specifically, she says, Misaki helped me make it. So that's both sides of Hebe
because this is technology. Yeah, this is technology from the world ship.
You could have made the... I mean... Here's the thing, though, is she very easily could have said, like, oh, yeah, you know, we grabbed, you know, we got the plans from the Hebe ship, and then, you know, with the infinite money... Yeah, but
Ashley's not going to tell you that, is she? Ashley's just going to be like, Misaki helped me make this because, you know, it's her technology.
Right.
In a very real sense.
I assume that they actually manifested it, is my point, and not actually,
like,
summoned,
manifested, brought them with her thingy. Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah. And of course, because Ashley just is kind of doing things, no one actually understands what the fuck she's doing. So that Lindsay is understandably rather concerned.
Nothing's changed. Nobody understood what Ashley was doing anyway before, but now she has
but now she's doing it at a much higher tier, which is dramatically different. Scale does matter.
We're so glad she kept the goofy and silly.
Yes, for sure. Yeah. No pain, no gain. Really obvious questions and really obvious, like. That heavily implies that Ashley already knows that what we're about to learn in this, which is kind of an interesting thing. It's not like hugely relevant, but it does help make sense of Lindsay and why she is and how she is. Even if I do low-key suspect this is Anon filling in a plot hole that we kind of clicked on a long while ago.
Which one?
That where did Lindsay get her powers? Why is she different?
How
is she going to fit in with the maids when she isn't, as far as we knew, of the maids?
I'm so glad Anon doesn't watch this. I said which one, as if there's like a lot of plot holes in it.
There's only this is one of only 3 that I consider to be in any way notable. Which is for a plot this complex.
Well, this happened at the very beginning of the story, so I'm more willing to give it leeway.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. But this is where Matoy finds out that Lindsay's background, and we learn that Lindsay is an orphan, was brought up in an orphanage, and went to the school on a scholarship. But this is also cute. And here's the name drop: Yoko Kimura.
Yeah, which was the
woman who created the cloning machine in Tropicali.
Have you guys played Tropicali?
She gets mentioned a couple of other times.
Trying to make a story that's not tied in greater narratively to.
To be fair, Anon has said to me that and they state it openly in this as well, that Yoko Kimura is the wild card of the background story of Oot and Tropicali and all that stuff. She can because of how she fits, she could be anywhere, and Ashley doesn't care because she probably already knew. But yes, the Yoko Kimura connection makes a huge amount of sense of why she's the way she is, even if it is very convenient Anon. But no, it's totally fair. It fills the plot hole, and I don't really have any issues with it at all. I'm just teasing.
I know. I'm not.
And this is where Ashley gets a bit more Hebe.
I know that I know I'm not the biggest Ashley fan. Like I know there's people that like Ashley more than I do, but like I could go a whole game with Ashley as our main character. Like Ashley is
for real. No,
so,
no question.
So fun.
Yes, and it's good to see Lindsay still has some sass even when she's terrified.
I think,
but yes, this is.
I have a really big compliment. I'm not saying I didn't think this was going to happen, but like I was really hesitant with Anon bringing another fucking character into the group. Because I still am a little hesitant on bringing like new characters into the story, but like I really am loving Lindsay. It's very funny.
Yes. Lindsay adds a lot of needed levity to things, I think. But yes, also this is to provide context. Ashley using her powers with that stuff to remove the Crow influence from Lindsay's soul, and Crow thinks it's a question of annihilating it, like Crow, because that's how Crow sees it, right? That she doesn't deserve anything less than having that piece killed, which would probably be pretty painful.
The anti-Crow beam.
But that's not what she does. Because of course she does. That's not the way Ashley rolls. She absorbs the Crow shard. And this is actually more important than you might think, because Ash plays it so lightly. Consider how afraid Ash was of Crow in early chapters.
Well, I mean,
and then she does this.
Yeah, I mean, Ashley doesn't have as much trauma compared to the rest of the group, but she's still very afraid. Also, Crow was Kieran for a long time, and Kieran did
a lot of awful things.
Actually, beat the shit out of Ashley. We know that, so it's like, yeah, that's.
And just also what Crow represents is like a lot of fucked up stuff, and she knows how much she's hurt everyone. But hence why her name changes to Hebe here, which shows you just how close beneath the surface Hebe is in terms of Ash. And oh my god, one of the best moments in Oot right there, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep. I'm telling you, I could absolutely go for
I could genuinely just stare at this render for hours, because it's just like seeing Crow so utterly flummoxed is just such a treat. But yeah, no, Ashley takes in the piece of Crow there, which is interesting. That makes her more blonde, not more red. But it does make sense when you realize that that Crow was originally blonde because she was based on Hebe. So of course it makes her more blonde.
Because isn't Hebe the? It's a little.
She's the one who made her soul.
Yeah, that's right.
Hebe made Crow's soul. Elenath made her body. Mm-hmm. And here we get to see Kieran flexing and the maids. But at least one of the maids developing yet another fetish.
Of course.
And Sarah just being Sarah. But it is nice to see Kieran just being Kieran.
It's so nice to see Kieran being happy. It's crazy.
Yeah, and just relaxed.
It's great.
And like... Man, because if anyone deserves it, Kieran, you know.
Oh, Kieran.
James called him for the meeting.
Okay, I mean, clearly there's going to be no more bad things for Kieran in the future because she's definitely not relevant to Vic's arc in any way because of their old friendship and
based Mikon, so getting true. That dump truck in high def. But it's really worth noting how we're getting a lot more of the maids now, and apparently we will for a bit.
Well, it's Jamie-centric times now.
Yeah, so of course we will. But I'm really happy to see the maids getting more limelight. I know everyone knows I've pushed for a long time for that, and it's also worth noting that Mick to see how
date with Matoya.
I hope so. I did mention to Anon. I'll poke him about it if I have to, because I'm going to get my money's worth. Mikon is much more relaxed in this sequence compared to how she is going to be in the future, which shows you how protective she is, and that it really is an interesting example of how she's amber and purple. Yeah, Kieran reveals the little detail. Yeah. How accepting Kieran is of this compared to how she used to be. Like, I'm intimately aware of every single fold that your insides have right now.
Yeah.
And you're sorry? No! When's the next one? Invite me!
Resist
Resist the bimbo horny.
I know.
No, don't. It's too late for her. She's already fallen. Legs. It's worth noting Ashley spends this entire vital, immensely important discussion on her phone, with just occasionally getting thrown in. But yes, Matoy here revealing that it appears that Lindsay is a Yoko Kimura's spin on the technology that was used to create the triplets, the main triplets. That Lindsay is a breeder, and Missouri asking some very apropos questions here.
All this breeder technology, and not one girl is pregnant. So
yes,
so
the prego crowd is crying.
No, it's okay. Don't you remember? Everyone gets fucked in chapter 100, and then everyone becomes pregnant. That's clearly what's going on. Well,
it's quite possible that Therese is already pregnant. So
yeah,
especially following this chapter.
Yeah, I think we might have talked about that last chapter, but I think that is a interesting choice to have CJ fuck Jamie and then for Teresa to get pregnant, right? Because that's what we're talking about, I assume.
Yeah, but it just also underlines how Jamie is the goddesses in a sense. And yes, here's one of the favorite bits of this chapter. Ashley being like, I was always blonde. Silly.
Yeah, we'll go over that. Just as a side note, I always figured Jamie was going to have the first kid. I seriously did. I thought with how, like, even at the very beginning, I thought that was kind of the point. I thought that was like, he fucks everybody else, but like, she's the one that gets pregnant first, is what I kind of thought. Even when we were talking about like Teresa's stuff, I always thought that Jamie was gonna be the one to get pregnant first. It's very funny. And then yes, I was always blonde. Liar. Kill yourself. Now.
She goes.
Thunder.
She goes high tier god on this one. Yeah. I was always blonde. And James' so reaction.
I know
they're all going to be divas now. They always were, Jamie. They always were. It's just worse now.
Nothing changed about them. They just have the ability to do it at a grander scale now.
Right. And Jamie does the right thing.
God forbid anybody in this cast get road rage or something. Someone will legitimately, their car will explode or something. Like.
And Sarah's just like, thank you. I love your hair. She's like, thank you. Of course you love it. It's more like yours because it is your hair.
Yeah, I got it from you.
Yeah, I got it from you.
I'm telling you, everyone's gonna look exactly the same. Chapter 100. They're all gonna look like Jamie. It's just gonna, everybody slowly morphs into
like
Jamie.
Sarah.
Or Sarah. Actually, Sarah's probably the better candidate. Everyone's been turning to look like Sarah since the beginning.
And look, this is Kieran. She just wants to touch him and hold him and just be around him. Mm-hmm. And yeah, here we get to see the dichotomy of the three maids as we know them. Like, this is important, right? Mayu is the empathetic, understanding one. Matoy is, to a lesser extent, but from a more practical, wider moral sense, where she's like, and then we see Ashley learning with Masaki's help how to make CJ horny at the drop of a hat. Thank you for that power. As if he needed that, like, more.
Where did that come from?
And Kieran feels it, of course, and Sarah feels it.
Well, okay, hold on. So I do think that was obviously what causes that. I wonder if that's not what they're talking about, because we know that CJ that'll happen to him when they use their abilities. I wonder if she's doing something else that we'll see later.
Impossible, or it could be both. It's
probably both. I mean, it's definitely him making him horny. Like, if that's not the goal. She does start
filming it right away, so it's clear that she's
Oh, yeah, it could be like a conversation like, I want to see him do something, and then Masaki's like, well, just make him horny, and she's like, oh, you're so right, genius.
Yeah,
right.
Genuinely.
Yeah, I mean, it probably.
I'm bored in the meeting. I want to be less bored.
It's never that complicated, right? We just have to remember.
Not with Ashley, it isn't. No. Not with Ashley, it isn't. She's very direct and straightforward about what she likes. See, smile for the camera. This is all happening while a very serious conversation about Lindsay's future is happening, and we're like touching on. Like, Matoy's like, we had a mother and a child, even if it was ripped from us. She didn't even have, like, she's like, her and Mayu both empathizing quite heavily with her. And then Mikan, no. Mikan is practical. Mikan is protective. Mikan is, this household is my family, and that anything that's a risk to it, I will deal with. And Mizue kind of stepping in here a little bit because she empathizes with her, which again, just because they both have purple in them. So that's kind of where that crossover is. But yeah, no, this is honestly more about the gang and the group as a whole kind of coming to the realization that, Lindsay has issues, but there's a reason she was messed up and Hayato was able to trick her. And Matoy is like, just like,
so hard.
She still hasn't done anything with him yet, which is astonishing when you think about it.
I mean, come on, that's when Matoy date happens.
It's got to be sometime soon, yeah. And of course, Mayu cannot help but be involved because remember, guys, it's three things. They're all prostitute maid assassins. And it's just which word is at the start of that for their primacy varies between the three. Maya is a prostitute assassin maid. Mikan is an assassin prostitute maid. And Matoy is a maid prostitute assassin.
And if not, I'll kill her.
No, maid assassin prostitute. Maid assassin prostitute.
Thanks, wonderful.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what Mikan is. Like, she's the cold. Like I've mentioned it before, and I'm glad to see it kind of proven true that Mikan. She's cold, scary. Like she will kill you and not even blink. And yeah, just underlining how intimately connected those three are now in every sense of the term. And wait for it, and yeah, the overlap between CJ and Jamie is now so close and so intimate that every time CJ has an orgasm, Jamie is going to have an orgasm. Every time CJ lets loose a load, she's going to get at least some of the load.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, she obviously did do that, but yeah.
And Matoy's going to get some of the recoil. And Mizue, little delay, and then bam. But she handles it way better than the other two, which is probably more of an experience thing. And here we get aggressive snowballing and sharing. Like, and Loki Anon does have a thing for this. Writer's completely undisguised fetish, which, based.
I wonder if I have to blur that. I don't know if I should or not. Right?
You could probably get away with it with cutting it, honestly.
Yeah, I'll probably just cut it. It's fine. I was thinking about that. I was like, I don't remember if I've ever had to cut.
Or you could just blur the whole section. Like, there's a lot here. You can just blur the whole section.
I mean, we talked about stuff. There wasn't a whole lot to read.
Yeah, there was. Jamie, responds to that by dragging CJ outside to have an understandably quite intense conversation. Where she's like, you realize I'm gonna get pregnant if this keeps happening. And that's actually a big deal that Jamie now offers to do this. And Jacob really having his
priorities.
Wait, you're commando right now?
And then sorry.
and then sorry.
Yeah.
Understandable though, Yeah, Jamie low-key finally starting to come to terms with the fact that she's a freak. Probably the biggest freak in the group, as she is the confluence of all four goddesses freaks in one.
The ultimate freak.
Yeah, but Jamie really does make a good point here. Like, she doesn't want to have kids yet. Like, she does one day, but not yet.
Excuse me? What?
And yeah, she's like, yeah, real. But this kind of makes sense. Like, Jamie, like I just said, she's way kinkier than she wants to admit to herself. It's always the quiet and uptight ones, guys. Trust me. It really is.
And then...
boop! Crow steps in to help out
absorbed.
a little. Horny absorbed.
Hello, baby.
Hello, indeed.
Yep.
Jamie can see her now, too. It's because of how close
you know
she's
what
gotten
time
and
it
the oath
is.
has been sworn.
You know what time it is. If CJ had to go through it, so do you.
Come here, girl. For the moment, yes. Which really does reflect how, skilled this crow is. I would call it plan. Yeah, this is where we get the plan for how to start approaching the current issue, which is that Leah Teresa's power come into conflict the way we got to their goddess the first time. We established that you can't do it directly because it will piss off one or the other.
Which
so
is
they have
also
to go...
a reflection of what's going on with Rio's world right now as well.
Yes. So the only way to reach them is going to be through more indirect means, using people who have a connection to one or both. And using them as a contact.
Which explains the ritual scene at the end, which is
what the ritual we're going to see at the end, yes.
Oh, Crow's the one that mentions it here. Yeah.
Yeah, have far less power than compared to a single color, which makes sense when you think about it, because the only time single color is a single color and you're just channeling pure power. Whereas if you have more than one, they're not going to be in equilibrium with each other because you need all four to become a chromatic.
You also have the only other thing is you have variety in what you can do as well.
Yeah, probably at least, depending on the combinations. Why wouldn't it? Like,
I don't know.
Sounds
that just
rational.
That sounds like this is such old Crow speak. But if my darling
but through a more cheerful
own,
lens,
then who am I to doubt? Why wouldn't Eleneth know best? Like, okay, relax.
Except that last bit, as Jamie points out. Except for Crow herself, and that's only because she's had so yeah, Crow is really the key element here because she's the amplifier that's going to allow the duality approach to work. So by having all of these colors working together, all the people with parts of the colors or lesser pieces, they can channel that through Crow, the two Crow halves, through Sarah and Crow Yarek, and that will allow them to function and make the connections indirectly.
I know that we've done this before with some of the other plans, but like the way that they keep reiterating like it might work and it might not work makes me think like it may just not work. And I don't know why. Like I don't know why we keep harping on the fact that it might not work if we really don't think it's not going to work.
Because occasionally it has failed. Like stuff has just not worked. Like we see Mizzy early on trying to do rituals that just don't work. It's just that if we're going to spend screen time on stuff that doesn't work, it's going to be an even longer story.
CJ being like, I can't remember why it will work.
Yeah, because this is where we establish that he can't just become Elanath easily anymore. And those two have their little sparkling moment. And then they have a little bit of their old banter.
Oh, old Jamie, how I miss you.
But now with some, like, sexual innuendo.
Kaz.
And yes, this is where an important scene, where Crow and Jamie have a heart-to-heart, as it were.
Yes.
Now that Crow's like this with her, sworn to hit her as much as she is to Elanath.
What happens in the Onisen stays in the Onisen.
Stays in the onsen. What happens in the onsen stays in the onsen. But Jacob's right. She needs to, get over her fear of Crow. As justified as that fear might be. So they have their... Whoop. Notice the colours that they flash. Yep, where the lotuses bloom and whoop. Little crow sprite. Little Japanese fox.
At my head. Okay, Great Spirit.
And here we are in what would presumably be inside Crow Yarek. And we get a little stop-in visit with Diary and Bridget. And we see Bridget is still struggling, understandably. Like, it's not going to be easy.
I hate everything.
Yes, this is kind of really a warning of how...
Yeah.
This is like an accelerated version of what happened with Crow. Like, imagine going through this kind of mentality, this kind of thing, but isolated. And Crow then just steps in and takes it from her. Which again is testament, like, to just what Crow is and how she is. The fact she can do that without flinching. is like, holy crap. Yeah, enough to make a model an old Twister fade is something terrible. You're simply not conscious enough to do so. Nothing is such as a morsel is nothing to mine another grain of sand to my desert. And the thing is, she's being like, that's lowballing it when you really think about it. She's suffered that pain for
mother of
so long.
Fucking might as well be the mother of the Mara over here.
In a sense, like at least she understands suffering. That
there's a theory for you right there. Hey.
I mean, maybe that's going to. Maybe that's
gave birth.
Maybe
to so
that's
many
the bridge. Maybe that's the bridge that will allow Crow to connect with Jamie / Sakiko more intimately. An understanding of suffering.
Yeah, we didn't. Did we get rid of? We don't. Did we get rid of the Mara inside of Crow? I don't think we did.
No,
we?
The power is still there.
Yeah.
It's kind of been changed a bit by I think what happened at the end of 58.
That's what I was wondering.
Eleanor, he brought her peace, which doesn't necessarily mean that he changed the Mara power. He just made it so that it wasn't influencing her as much anymore. And yes, we're back in her onsen now.
I think I'm gonna have to blur that. I think so.
Yeah, you probably will.
Yep. I'm gonna go ahead and do it.
But yes, Crow is just like, laying out like, you need to talk to me and trust me if I'm to actually help you. And she's like, yes, I can affect her emotions. It's exactly the same way I could affect Kieran's, but I'll only do it when you ask me to. And she can't lie, so she's being direct here.
Well, I do. It's so funny because something that I've never talked about, because this has never been something that I thought was not uninteresting, but I was like, this just seems like something everybody can do. I feel like this. I wonder if before the shattering, when they all were bonded and stuff, I wonder if they could do that originally. I'm sure they could to some extent, but everybody seems like that's a Fae is able to do it. And
they would. I would assume the goddesses could do it, but didn't need to. We see Carpo do it with Leia,
so
in a sense.
Here's why I think that it keeps getting brought up and it's relevant, because this is like the 4th or 5th time that Crow has talked about this to a character of like, I can regulate your emotions, right? And now we're talking about a character that isn't a Fae, because Jamie is not, right? Like, there's no, she's connected to everybody, but she has no Fae heritage connection, whatever you want to fucking call it, right?
No, she doesn't.
No. I wonder if that's a result of the grand plan to keep, like, for everyone to be together at the end with, like, everyone connected, like, a regulation of emotion, that way, like, nobody gets, because...
I don't think so. I don't think that would be necessary, because if the constellation's in balance, those sorts of emotions aren't
sure,
going
but
to
where
be a
did
danger.
I would envision I would envision like Crow and Sarah and like the maids as like I don't know. This could just be complete made up bullshit, but like
I know it's possible. I can't rule, we can't rule it out.
All of our not side characters, but like our characters that don't fit squarely into like that have the connections between them. They're like the flow lines between. It's kind of,
I get
and if they're the ones
the bridge characters, you could call them.
If they're
the
ones, if they're the ones that can regulate emotion and stuff like that, I feel like that's very intentional. Like, obviously, anything Sarah can do, Crow's gonna do, right? So it's not a good example, but like the fact that those two can do it, and then I wouldn't be surprised if the maids get some sort of similar ability. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not saying that'll happen. I'm just like, it seems like if your connection is like, especially with how they're setting up the maids to have, the different colors connecting themselves, like it seems like they could be the regulators. I don't know. It just seems like that's kind of intentional. Well, I've never talked about it before with the whole emotion, like I can make you calm down stuff. I just don't know why Anon would have Crow talk about it so much if it wasn't super relevant.
Because I think he talks about it so much to underline Crow's nature and what the capacity she has to suffer, and the person that she is, and why she is the way she is as a result. Mm-hmm. Like, Sarah is like a couple of 100 years old, and she's considered to have like a lot of emotional discipline and control. Crow is older than the universe and several times over.
Yeah.
her capacity to have to experience and carry these things is different. See, my method of survival wiped all but a few key emotions and memories from my spirit. We get some insight now into what exactly drove Crow into the state we see her in and why she was so obsessed. And it's quite simple. She sacrificed every piece of herself except the pieces that Elenath had directly touched. And then she relived those pieces for billions upon billions of years. For like 4 Asamiya Kalpas. And like, that's insane.
So
no wonder she's so fucked up.
Yeah, I mean, if it wasn't clear at the beginning of the story in the middle, like, we definitely get some clarification on that. Something else we get some clarification on is this next part, which is a 100% confirmation, as if it wasn't, if it wasn't, like, if you didn't read between the lines, you weren't mistaken to not realize this, but yeah, the goddesses, sorry, were human. 100%.
Yes, but they've become the goddesses so much they no longer are now. Yeah, Crow never was, not the way they were.
But I believe she also talks about the fact that the colors were already there. They still were, because that's
how
the gods
if you link this discussion with what Elenath describes talking to Jacob in 58, basically it comes to that the god of colors always existed as like wild things or flows or
those
powers
who you call the goddesses now weren't always so. That is true, but
yes.
They are
but Elenath and the goddesses became
Elenath,
the goddesses, and with Elenath's assistance, became what the goddesses, to try to bring order to those wild flows of power, so that life and creation could flourish.
If I remember correctly, OG was first, right? Like, he was the first. Seems like that was implied.
The goddesses indicated that, but again, that might just be their view, the way they put him up on a pedestal.
It makes more sense if it is him, but even if it's not, that means that the original OG was, because, like, you're born the color that you are, right? If we're talking about Oot color theory and stuff, right? That means that OG was born chromatic.
It's innate to your soul. No, because he got his colors from his connection to the 4 goddesses. That's why he was a chromatic, was that all 4 goddesses' powers flowed into him through the bond. His color apparently seems to be white.
Okay.
If you could describe him as having a power,
I'm fine with that explanation. If that's what we're rolling with,
like, if you can say that he has a specific color at all, you could also say that his colors are magenta and that very specific shade of green. Amaranthine,
his colors, yeah.
So that's more his colors, which is why Crow and Sarah have those colors.
Nice.
Jamie kind of twisting the knife a little bit here on Crow. Yes, I did think that. Yes, crafted by an atrocious soul for his own benefit, which makes sense, even if she obviously went way over the deep end. The logic she has for that makes sense, even if it's very clearly influenced by her own biases.
I really wish that Anon got Allie to voice this, because I totally imagine, like, she does this.
I'm sorry, I was wrong. In the most dead voice.
I was going to say, she does everything in her normal voice, and then she does this in the most deadpan of, like, if you're looking for an apology, then I will give you one. I'm sorry, I was wrong. Like, with her face like this, it's very funny.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, and Crow actually makes a fair point here, where the only reason that things have gone as well as they have is how quickly they managed to tame the goddess pieces and bring them into... Oh, they must, and she's right. Jamie, you can chart Jamie's character growth alongside the goddess's pieces that she gains control over pretty easily. Yes, the balance of it being tested. No, thanks to our littlest and most annoying companion. I mean, justified.
I mean, it's probably true, but at the end of this chapter, that makes me question, like, how much are we really,
Yeah, there is a certain degree of assumption going on.
How close are we to destruction, really? I mean, there's a reason why.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of something that is odd, is having Keone reach out like this. It does seem very...
Right? Okay,
Yeah.
I'm just being for real.
But no, yeah, this is a really important section, like, just for, in terms of overall understanding. Understanding Orxo, understanding Carpo, how they fit together and why they're in conflict and why they're, you know... Carpo is, in a very rough sense, eternally immature. She's always the daughter, she's always aiming high, she's highly intelligent, but she doesn't have emotional experience. Okay? To use the term that is used in this, and it's so dead on. Carpo is wisdom, she's very intelligent, without compassion. She doesn't understand her own emotions or the emotions of others.
Yeah, says it right here.
It's wisdom without compassion. That's why she's the eternal daughter. The reference to Shakti is a specifically Buddhist thing. Defiled Soul has a great post about it in the public spoilers, which I won't go into. Hope to have them on one day so we can discuss it, because they've got a great understanding of Buddhist theory. But yeah, it's in there. Just look up there. Some of their posts give you a much more in-depth understanding that we can really get into here. But yes, and Orxo is the reverse. Orxo is compassion without wisdom, which means that she always has good intentions. She never has malice in her heart in that way. But she is so blinded by that compassion that she doesn't understand when she's making mistakes. Nor will she accept that she is, because that's a very hard thing for her to do. And it sounded so horny because you're horny, and the goddesses are horny. Everybody's horny. Yes, and this is where Crow tries to segue into her little seduction of Jamie.
Which we made a
I'm a little sad we don't get to see it completely.
Yeah.
Yes, sexual energy is especially potent in humans. It allows the transfer between yin and yang. This is where we get a bit of insight as to why sexuality is such a big part of Oot. Like, the porn isn't just porn, guys. It actually has reason and cause.
Lots of duality in this sentence. Very
outer and inner, male and female. And maybe Rio is hermaphroditic. Oh, I wonder. Stasis
the
and
longer
creation.
we play this chapter, the more that makes sense.
Right. Yes, and Crow is not wrong, because she's literally a deeply carnal entity. Who is she indeed?
Oh, right, we get the reveal that this is how she survived, by fucking LNF through her
memories, and for literally 3 universes length of time.
Yeah.
Yes. All parts of her that were the outside of it, for there was no... Yes. That's,
yeah.
That's something. Like, just try and conceptualize that. Yes, had I a fertile body, I could have given birth to every single human Earth has ever seen, billions of times over. Would you like me to show you? And Tsukiko, nope.
Oh, you fucking buzzkill. Alright, give me more
We could have had a really fun time.
Yes.
And now we'll stop here. We'll stop here just briefly, because we're going to have to cut this next section to no one's surprise.
Are we? Oh, we are, aren't we? Okay, I'll see
Yes,
you
we are.
in a second.
And here. Okay,
And
stop.
then-
So in that scene, we see Tsukiko very much in control, even of Crow's spiritual body, which again is how it works now that she has this kind of connection with her through the oath that was sworn and through Elenath, both, I should imagine. The important question, and that's a bit in between the sexual shenanigans, is that she's obviously aware that Hebe knows something, and that her beloved knows something, Elenath / Jacob knows something. Which is obviously what her true nature is, which is what we learn at the end of 58, that they both know what that is, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Who is Jamie really? And,
well, I mean, we already, we the audience know what it is. Jamie's the only one that doesn't know what it is, though.
Yes, Jamie is not only one, but Jamie doesn't know. The only ones you do know is
very
is
clearly
Hebe.
obvious to us at the end of 58 what it was. Yeah.
Yes, 100%, totally.
Yeah.
But no, like it's very clear that Hebe knows because she's Hebe and can figure that out. Understanding connections is like
someone's gonna think we're being serious and then go watch 58 again and be like, what?
what? Yeah. So yeah, there's always one poor soul. But no, it's we know that Hebe knows because it's her thing to know stuff like this, understanding the relationships and connections between things. And Elanath knows because Elanath has that capacity as well. And it's important that Jamie / Akiko doesn't know and that they figure it out on their own. That's why. But it's really interesting that Tsukiko immediately stops the interrogation when Crow assures her that even though Crow herself doesn't know, and Elnath made her promise not to look into his memories to find out, that it's not something that makes him sad or upset or any other negative emotion, and that is immediately enough for Tsukiko to accept. That shows that she really does trust him. She's not playing a game. She's not like, or anything like that. She has got her own agenda. She is reassured just knowing that her son does not feel that it's a bad thing and that there is a reason, therefore, logically, why he hasn't told her. It's really important because it shows the kind of trust that was extended to Tsukiko by CJ in the past, when he very much just leaned on her knowing what was best and having a plan and accepted that plan. It's like most obviously when dealing in 37, when she tells him to asks him to give Crow his power to take on Carpo. Like, that was an act purely taken on trust. He has no reason to trust Crow, but Tsukiko's like, this is what needs to happen, and he's like, okay, I trust you, and just does it. And that, I think, is not a small deal. On the sexual front, like I said, it's really interesting to see Tsukiko now coming into her own, pun intended, as a sexual entity, where she sexually dominates Crow, and like she's kind of into it, in my opinion. But anyway, let's crack on with the chapter.
No, I agree.
And here we see the revamped Lindsay. Note the new hair ties.
Man, yeah, God, what color could she possibly be?
She is gold and teal. She is Carpo and there we go. Much more. And this is where she's officially invited to join the maid trio to become their fourth and as a quartet.
I love how Ashley's in the background of every single fucking scene now.
Yes, she's just overseeing and
she's
just fulfilling her
here.
Just around, just vibing. Honey-chan would make a great Danya. And yeah, Lumika can't help but throw in a threat of like, if you're a problem, I'll just kill you.
She probably has a lot of friends.
She doesn't need a lot of friends. She's got the people she cares about.
Yeah, I know. I'm just making it's like
right. But as mentioned earlier in the game, when it's you know that she likes you when she teases you with threats. Go back a couple. Where Maya's like, your hair looks nice. Did you do something with it? And then it's like, I did.
Of course, we should have known with the pigtails. It's great.
Right, 100%. I'll sleep with Jacob or whatever you guys. It's interesting that that's what she says. Like, it's really that kind of shows that Lindsay's like, that's what her actual like. She thinks that's the only way she's going to get his attention or get to him.
Would you like to? Who you have a relationship with is entirely your business. Did you even read the offer we gave you? And then.
And she's like kind of caught there because it's like, and then Maya's like, maybe she really is one of us, just as horny. Maybe she got it from you. And of course, Ashley comes into this. Why is there a childbirth allowance? Matsui actually has a very grounded reason for this. Yeah. So get him to knock you up. It's fine. And Matsui's like, stop it. Stop it. I'm trying to run a serious job interview and acceptance thing here. Look at the fucking pay already, dip.
I love you, Ashley. Thank you.
You don't have to be such a bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you applying I made a mistake?
Ashley says the things in game that I wish I could say to the characters.
She is like that in a voice.
She is the fourth wall voice of the people.
She's the voice of the people. And Maya's
That's
like,
that's why she's president. Didn't you know?
Real. And then Mikan's just trying to, like, whom you may call Matoy-sama. You will prove your worth and become an asset to this house, or I'll dispose of you myself. Thanks for clearing all that up. I'll just sign right here. 2 and 2.
And
yes,
also
Mikan. 2 and 2.
Also making a note, left hand, like that's not some fucking reference.
Which puts her. Yeah, which puts her on the left hand, the passionate hand.
Yes.
And Aguri!
Oh
good
man,
always good to see
we
Aguri.
Don't see enough of you, but it's okay.
She's going to get more apparently going forward as things proceed. So I have informed. I think Anon feels sorry for forgetting her when they
yeah, that was pretty funny. It's such a shame that you can't focus on everybody. Maybe if you'd stop making good characters Anon, we wouldn't feel that way.
Right? Yeah. Notice that Mizzy's got the the facial and lip markings of the Fae going on a little bit.
I think Jamie makes a note of that in a little bit, doesn't she?
She does.
Yeah.
Is there something different about you?
Probably because their connection to this room, it's probably fading in.
Possibly, but we know that's never deliberate. Change of undies? Nope. Well, yes, not that. But it's important to note that because Aguri can't see it, that would imply it's a spiritual thing.
Oh man, I never knew I needed this before. Yeah, that would be a crazy scene.
Real.
I really wish I was getting requests still. That'd be a pretty fun one.
Please let Mizzy take more of a central role. Please let her be equal. Please, I beg of thee.
I think Anon will do it. It's all about Jamie now. We've got it. She's literally the other half. There's no way it doesn't happen.
Yeah, right. That's how I feel.
I would be very disappointed.
And look at Kieran though. Look at Kieran being the reassuring, supportive one. Gosh, who does that?
Character development, my avian, fucking.
And Sarah, but that's the thing is she's being like Sarah right now. Like she's being positive and supportive and helpful. And Ashley taking charge. Yeah! Woo! To help two princesses. One may have giant hits and the other the figure of Venus herself. But nobody's perfect except me.
So true.
Look at that fucking chat. That's twins. I want us to take a second to think about that. This motherfucker standing here with the richest twins on the planet.
Oot Cast is unbiased. It's we try to be, correct all the time and not let our influence affect what we say.
Fuck that shit, bitches. Nah. Mizzy for life, yo.
The
tiny beautiful
Good
pages.
Lord, Lindsay. Good Lord.
I know.
Oh my God. No, I mean, like, you look at the other ones.
I know, it fits.
And then it's just... Yeah.
Do you want to be a baddie worth knocking up, or what? Straighten that back. Puff out that chest. Seriously, watch her. As soon as she does that, the tits are in alignment. You have so much to learn, my apprentice. I don't think Lindsay realizes how terrifying that is.
Stop making good characters. It's really hard to like everybody.
Right. And K31 now pops up, except Ashley seems to have forgotten that almost no one can see her.
Oh, right. They do this big, long explanation, and then we...
Yes, about how they're going to route this through the Heap ship as an amplification thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Kieran is correct. She was talking to herself, just not in the way that you think she is.
We do have...
And Anon, very you know what? I like to imagine...
For the,
I like to imagine that everyone can see that arrow. That's literally Ashley creating the arrow.
Mm-hmm.
Color-coded arrows, no less. And a Gary, hi! Scary maid. And here we get another brief mention of what colors the maids are, respectively. Which, their alignments. My beloved, my favorite. You're neither. You're sitting this one out with me. Aw, man! We'll make
okay.
sure you're
I'll
part
make
of
sure
it later.
Well, you have
Best
the best
color, me.
Yeah.
We need your gold part, so you and Kieran.
Are you
Are you high?
Irrelevant.
Irrelevant.
Cyber high, okay?
That's not a
Constantly
denial.
high.
That's not a denial, though.
No, yeah, I mean, come on. You're high on spiritual energy.
High on
okay?
heat power.
Yeah.
And this is important foreshadowing about to occur, guys. There will be so much power transferring around that it will trigger an orgy anyway. And laughter that we from both of them.
Yeah, we know what happens
True.
next chapter,
Hey,
by the
hand on
way.
the ass. Look at Sarah. Go back one. Go back. Go back. Look how smooth that is. Hand on the ass.
No, it's been forever. God, it's been forever since the club scene.
Since
in Leah's
the
arc, yeah.
We absolutely need to see the resolution of the club scene, which we can now get. I'll show these girls a good time, Leia included. But look at blushing Aguri.
I know. I'm telling you. It's what I said like 5 seconds ago. I'm telling you something I didn't realize that we needed until now. I mean, it makes sense with
And then Lindsay, was she always this?
I mean,
think?
we really
yeah.
need Leah and Kieran to finally do it. That's been a long time.
Yes, to decide who gets to go on top, it's gonna be Kieran.
No, because that was one of the first things that I requested was that one of Kieran.
Yeah,
dragging
I
Leah.
remember. Yeah, the good custom. Good custom.
That one was fun.
And Matoy, I'll do my best, whatever it may be. Please rely upon me.
Heck yeah, I'm so glad. Hey,
this
dude,
is where we
this
go.
plan's going great, dude. I'm so glad that everything is going.
And everything's great, and like, don't worry, guys. We established
Okay.
early on that Keone is not going to be a oh no. Long time since he's heard that track, and Keone reaches out and snatches him, and that is where 61, 68 ends.
Man.
This chapter is, I'll be honest, pretty much a setup chapter, like I said at the start. It's a setup chapter.
We need them.
So it doesn't have a huge amount of weight on its own. It has some scenes that are emotionally important and like relationship dynamics wise important, like with Jamie and Crow, with Lindsay and all that sort of stuff. That's it's a lot of like last little bit of tying up of loose ends from the previous stuff, and really now launching in with both feet into the meat of this arc. Crow with Crow doing what she's doing as this amplified thing, Sarah doing it. They're going to be the key to the next section, as we've seen in Work in Progress. We're going to get to see carpofied Crow and Orxified Sarah, respectively. But the big shocker, the twist here, the shocker I should say, rather than the twist, the surprise, is Keone making a reappearance. Mm-hmm. Now, we were talking about this before, and we don't think that this is actually Vic.
Oh, no. Yeah, so I talked about this a little bit in the preamble, but yeah, a little bit of a spoiler if you can't see the work in progress stuff. We do see some Keone influence, and I mean, Anon brought up a good point. Obviously, man makes the fucking game. How else are you gonna get to Leah, but through appealing to her, Keone love, right? Or, her Vic love, right? But I seriously don't think that I don't think we're going to see Vic until her actual arc. Like,
not herself, no.
Yeah,
I don't think.
herself.
I think she might appear.
We saw Keone, right? But like, I don't think we're going to see actual Vic until it's her arc.
We think that this is Keone herself, not the part that's tied necessarily to
the greater
Vic.
whole, probably.
It's the broader Keone self who is interceding here. And this is her first appearance as that part of her is her first appearance since the end of Vic's arc. That's like so long ago. So this is going to be really interesting to give us a little perhaps insight into what Keone's been up to. Like, she's been mentioned a couple of times, and Hayato even says that, don't underestimate, just because she's been so quiet doesn't mean she hasn't been doing anything. So, yeah, really, like I really feel like next chapter is going to be huge. Coming out for Patreons in the next couple of days, maybe a little longer.
Yeah, we probably should address the fact that this took like a month to come out. By the way, sorry.
Yeah.
By the way.
Yeah, that's everyone got busy lives. Not a big deal. It's worth. I am going to mention that the work in progress like the preview images, he includes a count when he does it. He ended this time's count at over 1,100, nearly 1,200 renders, which puts that next chapter almost on a par with a crescendo
That is
end of arc
29th,
chapter.
by the way, for those of you that are watching this in the future.
Yes. It's 29th for you, it's the 30th for me, because I live in the future.
Yes, why didn't you warn us about 9/11? That's what I fucking thought. All right. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen,
Hey,
for watching this
come on now.
latest episode of Oot Cast. I
Wait a
have
minute.
been Techno, and this
And
is
I have been
Rayze.
Rayze. Have a good one, guys.
We'll see you
soon.
soon. We will see you soon. Worry not.